Hey, baby.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, nothing much. Just waiting on these questions that you might have.
Yeah, I have these questions.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right. The first one is from Samantha Ventura. She's this little girl. She loves my music. She's so cute. So I just thought, why not um, use her question? So she wants to know, how did you start getting into music?
Well,
Oh no.
how did I start getting into music? Uh, well, you say she's this cute little girl, and she's about to hear
Oh gosh.
a pretty tough, pretty tough story. But well, she asked. You gotta be careful what you ask for. How? Well, I mean, to be honest, I got into music. It's really a long story, actually. You'll probably have to read my book to get the whole story, but just to kind of sum it up, I was in a drug deal that went not horribly bad, because of course, if it would have went horribly bad, I would have left in a body bag. But it went bad enough to where I got robbed for all my product, and like I say, that's a long story. But basically, I had to pay back the money to the people who funded me. It was really just a bunch of pounds of weed, and I had to pay back the people that had funded it for me, funded it to me. So I basically lost all the money that I was saving up to start a business. I lost it all in one bad drug deal, and then I still owed a couple of $1,000. So I had to borrow that from my brother, who kind of got me out of that situation. But I was basically broke, and I had about $60 in my pocket. This one day, $60 that I had borrowed from my girlfriend, who later became my wife, who happens to be your mother, Carley. But anyway, I had about $60 on me, and I was going to call my best friend Hewlin and ask him for a win, which a win means like a $60 win. That means that you spend $60 with one of your homeboys, and he lets you win off of it. You know, he'll give you about maybe $250 worth of dope. See, I didn't even sell weed. I had no business selling weed. I sold dope, which is crack, yeah. And Hillwood, but I was out of my element, and I got caught slipping. But anyway, as I was calling my homeboy, I mean, I literally lost everything that I had been working for probably in the last 3 to 4 years. So here I am with 60 funky ass dollars, and calling my best friend, gonna ask him for a win. But there was something, man. It was just something that wouldn't let me finish calling that number. And I just put the phone down, or really just kind of dropped the phone on the table right there in the kitchen in my trailer, and I just started praying. I hadn't prayed in decades, probably at least. And I just said, God, I don't want to start all over, because see, I was already off the cut. I was already off the corner. I was already selling little half ounces or ounces, you know, to other guys that were on the block. I really wasn't working the block like I was when I first started, which, you know, it's dangerous, you know, having to deal with all the elements of a street corner, of a hot street corner. But so the story goes, or shall I say, what happened was, I prayed to God, and I just said, God, you know, there's got to be another way for me to for me to make it out the hood, there's got to be another way. I know that I'm smart, but I just don't know what I can do. I mean, I'm gonna end up getting killed on these streets, and I said, can you please, guide me, help me, show me what I can do with my life. And I got up from that prayer, and I walked over to the living room, which is about 3 steps away, because if you live in a trailer, your living room is about 3 steps away from the kitchen. And I remember sitting down and turning on my television, and the picture slowly started to appear on the screen. Back then, I guess the television, the picture kind of faded in, and it said on the screen, right after I just asked God what I could do with my life to give me a sign, I turned on the television, and in faded the word rap in 3 huge letters across the screen.
No way.
No way, yeah. It was a surprise because I literally thought it was God telling me to rap. But right after that, that immediately went off the screen, and some guy was saying, that's right, give us your best rap right over the phone. You could be the next person to get signed with a major deal. Just call this number below me and give us your best rap right over the phone. Well, back then, oh God, what was it, 92, 93? Back in those days, rap was just blowing up so much and so fast that, record labels were in a frenzy just trying to find talent. You would literally have commercials where people were trying to find rappers. It's not so much that way these days because there's a rapper on every other house, on every other street. But back then, that was the deal. Well, of course, I did not know how to rap, so I never called the number, but that was my answer. That was my answer. And it's just the way that it had hit me. I had just prayed, God, what can I do with my life? I turn on the television, it says rap. So it just hit me like an answer. I didn't really pay much attention to the commercial because I didn't know how to rap yet. Mm-hmm. But I took it as a sign, like, this is what I can do. Why did I think that? Because I used to write poems. Growing up, like every time a girlfriend would break up with me, I'd write her a poem. And and it would always work, And almost every time I wrote somebody a poem, it made them cry. Like I would write poems for my mom on her birthday. I would write poems for my sister on her birthday. I was too cheap to buy them a gift, so I would just write them a poem, and that was my gift. And I would just talk about, the things that mean something to me when, concerning them, and it made them cry. So that was it. I mean, because that's all rap was just musical poems. And my poems always made people cry, so obviously my words were powerful. So I knew that was my answer. So I knew from that point on, from sitting there in that trailer, broke as hell, with $60 that my girlfriend let me borrow, I never, ever worried about money again. I knew that was my answer. I knew that all this success in rap would happen. Of course, when I started, it was a little discouraging because I was terrible. I was the worst rapper you would ever hear. But at the same time, every couple of songs that I wrote, they just got better and better. So I just kept writing, and then I would listen to the radio, and I would see that I'd buy CDs, and I would see that people were still better than me. So I would keep writing, So after about 1.5 years of writing, I forgot what song it was, but I had wrote a song, or maybe it was just a verse. But the verse that I had wrote, I had never heard anybody ever rap anything that dope. I had never, ever heard heard anybody make that many multi-syllable words rhyme, and I just stood up and I said, you know, I'm ready, you know, and after that point, everything that I wrote, just you know, it's kind of like karate, you know, you go through white belt, then yellow belt, then whatever belt is next, orange belt, you know, green belt, brown belt, I don't know, but whatever the belts are, and then once you're a black belt, that's it. You don't ever go back down. You're always going to be a black belt.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that I wrote, I worked myself up to a black belt in my writing, and everything I wrote was just dope after that. Of course, you have a few, you know, when you have a few off days, but for the most part, everything I wrote was dope after that, and that's really how I got into music. You know, to answer your question, it was really came from a drug deal that had gone bad because that's what led to that. You know, if I would have never prayed and I would have never gotten that answer, you know, through that television, God only knows where I'd be at right now.
Yep.
Because I would have never, ever thought to rap. You know, it would have never crossed my mind to rap. I used to want to be a breakdancer back when I was a teenager, which was in the mid '80s. But all of a sudden, breakdancing went out of style. Now it's kind of back in a little bit, I guess. But so yeah. So that's the first question out of 300 questions. So you're right.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Her name is not Samantha. It's Samara. But thank you, Samara, for your question.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, no, that's okay.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see that good.
Yeah, no, I was going to joke with you and say, you know, but, you know, it's no big deal. But.
Now you have to do the question all over again. No, thank you.